I want to take us now to London to look at the terror aspect of this, because, of course, authorities, the police are saying that they're treating this incident as a terror attack. And we can talk now to Tahir Abbas. He is a senior research fellow at the Royal United Services Institute, a security think tank in London. A very good evening. It turns out that this is yet another vehicle ramming attack. Is there anything that authorities can do to protect citizens from these types of low-tech attacks?
Unfortunately, it is a very difficult situation, and it's very difficult to mitigate against because it's so easily done. It's very low resource, it's low tech, and unless you can control cars remotely, unless you can restrict hiring, it's a difficult situation.
And now this is, as you said, a very unsophisticated method of inflicting damage and destruction, if you will. You know, knowing the facts that we've learned now from Barcelona, does it bear resemblances to attacks, let's say, in Nice or London or other places?
Sadly, it does. It has all the hallmarks of the kinds of attacks we've seen in other parts of Western Europe over the last year or so, 2 years or so. And it's a high impact, it's high visibility. The mass populations, certainly here in this main area, thoroughfare in Barcelona. And and again, of course, the media impact. So all of this is very much part of the strategy that has been instrumentalized by the likes of certain groups, Islamist groups, in recent months and years.
Now, as you know, of course, as in what appears to be in this case and also in Nice and other places, this van was rented. Are there any countermeasures? I mean, it seems very simple to be able to track whoever rents a van. Is that something that authorities considered after Nice?
The problem is these van companies are privately owned firms, and there are questions of how far policy can penetrate into what private businesses do with regards to how they operate. And I mean, we have similar issues with regards to encryption and social media conversations, etc. So when there is this problematic, it's a difficult bridge to cross. And of course, the attacks that we've seen recently have encouraged these companies to talk to government more. But as of yet, there's still action to be taken.
So what are we supposed to do? Will this be the new normal?
In some ways, it has become the new normal. We've seen these kinds of incidents for far too long. And obviously, they predate the actions of terrorist organizations that we well know now, for example, Islamic State. It's something that has been in play as a part of the strategy of terrorists for a very long time.
All right, I'm going to ask you also to compare, if you will, compare and contrast this attack. I know it's still unfolding in terms of the facts that are being released with the previous attacks in London and in Berlin, sadly, over Christmas.
Yeah, so the comparisons are open public spaces, lots of members of the public who are flowing through these spaces. Then we have the cars or vans, small or big, that have been rented and utilized in this way. And but what's interesting here is also that there's talk of potentially a second van or certainly a second individual. How that has evolved is something new, and but definitely, as we've managed to determine so far, that this has all the hallmarks of the kinds of incidents we have been witnessing over the last few years and months.
And talk to us a little bit about the situation in Spain when it comes to, again, we don't know who the attackers are right now, but it's just to provide us with some perspective about the activity of IS sympathizers who have launched similar attacks elsewhere in Europe. Is Spain a hub for people who sympathize with IS?
Interestingly, obviously, there's a significant North African community there of Muslim minority background, but the last major terrorist incident was in 2004 in Madrid when nearly 200 people died in train bombings. So there hasn't really been anything like this in Spain, and we've been witnessing problems elsewhere in France and Britain, for example. So Spain is very much new on this.
Sorry for interrupting you. Were you taken aback by what we're seeing today, having said that?
Yes. I mean, the images are shocking and hugely disturbing, and these unfolding events are deeply disturbing. And it's a surprise. One would have thought that there are considerations with regards to returnees, people who are sort of on mission as the Islamic State is collapsing. But Spain wasn't on the horizon at all, and this does seem to be a bit of an anomaly.
All right, Tahir Abbas, please stick around. I want to continue our conversation.